Tom and I had always wanted to shoot a foot chase from our very earliest collaborations together, particularly because we know they're pretty challenging to do. And because this movie was Mission Impossible, we kept thinking it's got to be bigger and bigger and bigger than the other action sequences that we've done. Wade Eastwood took it on his own to go out around the streets of London and scout locations. And he found all of these alleys and came to us and said, I think we could shoot a really cool foot chase here in this part of the city. And Tom and I looked at each other and said, who says it's got to be that big? If the story really works and the audience is really involved, does it really have to be this giant, spectacular thing?
To have a night sequence like that, it was really fun figuring out, scouting it, and finding those streets and creating the story.
And watch this, I'm coming this way, and I'm coming out. Which way do I go? I see the car. Boom, boom, boom.
The narrow alleys and the sharp corners, in the sense that it was a maze. It was just a really great environment for building pressure on Tom and Rebecca.
Unless you have actually seen him run, you won't understand how bleeding fast he runs.
There's a scene where I take a guy through a window in an office, but the camera's staying with Ilsa, and you're kind of caught with her drama, and then as it goes out, you just see me go out the other window, and then there's a separation. You just see the whole movie turn on that point, and as the audience go, no, you missed her, you were going the wrong way. That's just one of my favorite things to find, and as you're scouting and you're finding architecture. It's not like we had the idea beforehand, it's just we looked at it and went, oh, here's where we knew that we had to separate the characters, and this is the kind of architecture that will give us that.
We've been running in all these beautiful little alleys and jumping cars and sliding over hoods, and then leading up to this knife fight where we have separated.
Tom's getting pretty beaten up at this stage towards the end of the movie. We're not sure sort of which direction it's going to go. The cut between that and Ilsa getting basically the shit kicked out of her by Vinter in this knife fight. We designed it in a way that she's assessing him. He's obviously a guy and he's bigger and stronger in this location. It gives us this feel that it's like a woman being threatened by this guy, and it's sort of a neighborhood you don't want to be in on your own as a woman. And that's the sort of feeling we want at the beginning of this. She starts going full Ilsa on us and defeats him.
And me kicking his ass is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
The challenge of the foot chase was, where did it all end? Where was it all going? And how did we end up resolving this conflict between Ethan and the villain? We really didn't know what it was going to be almost up until the day we shot it.
The moment that Lane and Ethan face off, Ethan trapped with our villain getting closer and closer to him, and you hear the footsteps and the breathing of the villain, and you're with Ethan, and he's like, where do I go? Where do I go? Can I go there? Can I go there? And then the camera cranes up over the top, and you realize that they're literally just 2 feet away from each other, but they can't see because there's some pallets in the way. He manages to smash through some glass and lure the villain down a hole. And again, you're playing with the audience there, because you think that Ethan is out of options, but actually he's doing it all deliberately to lead our villain down this hole and trap him.
It's a scene that took us a long time to figure out to get just right. And it's the first time when all of the major players are together in the same room. They've all been trying to come together for the entire film, and they finally sort of arrived.
It is high action. Crazy exciting. And beautifully shot.
When you're shooting in London, and all the films that I've made here, I've never had the foggy London night on the cobblestones through these beautiful streets. It's a city that I love, and we wanted a love letter to London. I just think it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to look at.